The following outline is provided as an overview of and topical guide to South Africa. South Africa, sovereign country located at the southern tip of Africa. South Africa's coast stretches 2,798 kilometers and borders both the Atlantic and Indian Oceans. To the north of South Africa lie Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Swaziland, while the Kingdom of Lesotho is an independent enclave surrounded by South African territory. General reference. Pronunciation: South Afrike. Common English country name: South Africa. Official English country name: the Republic of South Africa. Common endonym: Afrika Africa.Zonga, Afrika Shipembe, Iningizimu Africa, Isawula Africa, South Africa, South Africa, Umzansi Africa. Official endonym: Arifabuliki Yeningizimu Africa, Arifabuliki Yasningizimu Africa, Arifabliki Yesawula Africa, Arifabliki Umzansi Africa, Republiki ya Afrika Borwa, Refaboliki ya Afrika Borwa, Refaboliki ya Afrika Borwa, Republic of South Africa, Republik van Suid-Afrika, Republiki ra Afrika.Zonga, Refabiliki ya Afrika Shipembe. Adjectival: South African. Demonym: South Africans. Etymology: Name of South Africa. ISO country codes: ZAF 710. ISO region codes: see ISO 3166-2 ZA. Internet country code top-level domain. ZA. Geography of South Africa. South Africa is a mega-diverse country. Location: Eastern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere Africa. Southern Africa Time Zone: South African Standard Time. Extreme points of South Africa: high, Mafadi 3,450 meters. Low, South Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean 0 meters. Land boundaries: 4,862 kilometers. Botswana 1,840 kilometers, Namibia 967 kilometers, Lesotho 909 kilometers, Mozambique 491 kilometers, Swaziland 430 kilometers, Zimbabwe 225 kilometers, coastline 2,798 kilometers. Population of South Africa: 47,850,726th most populous country. Area of South Africa: 1,221,037 square kilometers. Atlas of South Africa. Environment of South Africa. Climate of South Africa. Environmental issues in South Africa. Green building in South Africa. Ecoregions in South Africa. Renewable energy in South Africa. Geology of South Africa. Protected areas of South Africa. Biosphere reserves in South Africa. National parks of South Africa. Wildlife of South Africa. Flora of South Africa. Fauna of South Africa. Birds of South Africa. Mammals of South Africa. Natural geographic features of South Africa. Glaciers in South Africa. None. Islands of South Africa. Lakes of South Africa. Mountains of South Africa. Volcanoes in South Africa. Rivers of South Africa. Waterfalls of South Africa. Valleys of South Africa. World Heritage Sites in South Africa. Regions of South Africa. Ecoregions of South Africa. Administrative divisions of South Africa. Provinces of South Africa. Districts of South Africa. Municipalities of South Africa. Provinces of South Africa. Western Cape, Northern Cape, Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Free State, Northwest, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Limpopo. Districts of South Africa. City of Cape Town Metropolitan Municipality. West Coast, Cape Winelands, Overberg, Eden, Central Karoo, Nelson Mandela Bay Metropolitan Municipality, Kakadu, Amathole, Chris Hani, Joji Qabi, Othambo, Alfred Nzedo, X-Harry, Mothio, Lejvleputswa, Thabo Mofut Sanyan, Northern Free State, Namikwa, Pixley Kasim, Sianda, Francis Baard, Kagalagadi, Boyana La Platinum, Nakamadiri Molima, Dr. Ruth Segamotsi Mompati, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, West Rand, City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality, Sedabeng, Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality, Metsweding, City of Schwein Metropolitan Municipality, Mopani, Bombay, Capricorn, Waterberg, Sekakun, Gertsi Band, Garngala, Alanzeni, Amaduba, Zululand, Umkan Yakud, Uthung Ulu, Umzanayathi, Uthukila, Umgungundlavu, Ilembe, Ethekwini Metropolitan Municipality, Agu, Sisonke, Municipalities of South Africa. Capital of South Africa, Pretoria, Bloemfontein and Cape Town. Cities of South Africa. Demography of South Africa. Government and politics of South Africa. Main article. Government of South Africa and politics of South Africa. Form of government. Unitary parliamentary representative democratic republic. Capital of South Africa. Pretoria, Bloemfontein and Cape Town. Elections in South Africa. Political parties in South Africa. Political scandals of South Africa. Taxation in South Africa. Branches of the Government of South Africa. Executive branch of the Government of South Africa. Head of State, President of South Africa. Cabinet of South Africa. Legislative branch of the Government of South Africa. Parliament of South Africa. Upper House, National Council of Provinces. Lower House, National Assembly of South Africa. Judicial branch of the Government of South Africa. Constitutional Court of South Africa. Chief Justice of South Africa. Supreme Court of Appeal of South Africa. High Court of South Africa. Magistrates' Courts of South Africa. Foreign Relations of South Africa. Diplomatic missions in South Africa. Diplomatic missions of South Africa. International Organization membership. The Republic of South Africa is a member of Law and Order in South Africa. Capital punishment in South Africa. Constitution of South Africa. Crime in South Africa. Human rights in South Africa. LGBT rights in South Africa. Freedom of religion in South Africa. Law enforcement in South Africa. Military of South Africa. Command, Commander-in-Chief, President of South Africa. Minister of Defense of South Africa. Department of Defense of South Africa. Forces. South African National Defence Force, South African Army, South African Navy, South African Air Force, South African Military Health Service, South African Special Forces Brigade. Military history of South Africa. Military ranks of South Africa. Local government in South Africa. History of South Africa. Main article. History of South Africa. Timeline of the history of South Africa and current events of South Africa. Economic history of South Africa. Military history of South Africa. Culture of South Africa. Architecture of South Africa. Cuisine of South Africa. Festivals in South Africa. Humor in South Africa. Languages of South Africa. Media in South Africa. National symbols of South Africa. Coat of arms of South Africa. Flag of South Africa. National anthem of South Africa. People of South Africa. Prostitution in South Africa. Public holidays in South Africa. Records of South Africa. World Heritage Sites in South Africa. Art in South Africa. Art of South Africa. Cinema of South Africa. Literature of South Africa. Music of South Africa. Television in South Africa. Theatre in South Africa. Religion in South Africa. Religion in South Africa. Buddhism in South Africa. Christianity in South Africa. Roman Catholicism in South Africa. Protestantism in South Africa. Hinduism in South Africa. Islam in South Africa. Judaism in South Africa. Sikhism in South Africa. Sports in South Africa. Football in South Africa. Cricket in South Africa. Rugby union in South Africa. South Africa at the Olympics. Economy and infrastructure of South Africa. Economic rank by nominal GDP, 30th. Agriculture in South Africa. Banking in South Africa. South African Reserve Bank. Communications in South Africa. Internet in South Africa. Companies of South Africa. Currency of South Africa. Rand. Financial Rand ISO 4217. ZAR. Economic history of South Africa. Energy in South Africa. Energy policy of South Africa. Oil industry in South Africa. Healthcare in South Africa. Mining in South Africa. Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Tourism in South Africa. Transport in South Africa. Airports in South Africa. Rail transport in South Africa. Roads in South Africa. Water supply and sanitation in South Africa. Education in South Africa.